Welcome to Classic Recaps. In a desolated post-apocalyptic world, a lonely engineer creates a companion to protect his beloved dog. Prepare to be inspired by the story of Finch, 2021. The film opens with the ruins of a devastated Earth. A decade ago, a solar flare severely damaged the ozone layer, resulting in temperatures soaring to 150 degrees Fahrenheit. The world has since become a desolate and inhospitable wasteland, plagued by extreme UV radiation and disastrous weather events. We are introduced to Finch, one of the few remaining survivors. As a robotics engineer, he has crafted a protective suit to shield himself from the harsh environment as he searches for supplies with his robot companion Dewey. During one such expedition, he enters a store and takes note of the dangerously high UV radiation levels in the area. Dewey, in the meantime, gathers any remaining useful items. Finch collects some dog food before departing, marking the location to keep a record of his scavenging efforts. Finch journeys through an abandoned town, decimated by the consequences of the ozone layer's destruction. With the intense UV radiation making it unsafe for people to venture outdoors, the city has been largely deserted. Suddenly, Finch's suit issues an alert, warning of an approaching storm. He turns the truck around and speeds off with the massive storm closing in. Fortunately, he reaches his underground laboratory, previously owned by the company he worked for before the disaster struck. As the story unfolds, we learn that Finch is suffering from tuberculosis. Back at home, his loyal dog, Goodyear, eagerly awaits his return. Finch embraces and kisses Goodyear before preparing the food he scavenged earlier. While Goodyear feasts on his meal, Finch only takes a few sips of his drink, mindful of their dwindling supplies. Later, Finch enlists the help of an AI to upload basic instructions for his latest project, such as caring for a dog and performing household chores. Finch's deep love for Goodyear drives him to create a highly advanced robot to look after his dog once he's gone. This is a unique twist, as usually, it's the dog that meets a tragic end in movies. Finch has been extensively researching UV rays and radiation exposure. He eventually removes Dewey's eyes and attaches them to the new robot. Upon activating the robot, Finch begins transmitting data to it. After multiple failed attempts at communication, the robot finally nods, indicating that it understands Finch's message. Elated by this progress and the potential for Goodyear to have a new companion, Finch plays with his dog. He then prompts the robot to share something about itself. The robot explains its rules, including not harming humans, but most importantly, it must protect Goodyear at all costs in Finch's absence. Suddenly, the power goes out, and Finch ventures outside to fix the wind turbine. After reconnecting the cable, the power comes back on, and the robot names itself Jeff. Concurrently, a massive storm is heading their way. Finch returns and connects Jeff to the weather station for a forecast. Jeff predicts that 4 separate storms will hit within 24 hours, lasting approximately 40 days. Upon hearing this, Finch decides they must leave their current location and head to San Francisco as their best chance for survival. Finch proceeds to construct Jeff's full body. Once completed, he increases the robot's data transfer rate and teaches him to walk. After some practice, Jeff successfully walks. While Finch is pleased, Goodyear remains distrustful of the robot. As the storm approaches, Finch packs essentials and unplugs Jeff's data transfer at only 72%, leaving him with childlike qualities. Finch calls for Dewey to join them, forgetting that he removed the robot's eyes earlier. He then attaches a camera to Dewey so he can see again. The group of 4 climbs into an RV, embarking on their journey to San Francisco. Throughout the trip, Jeff eagerly learns from Finch's actions. For now, they manage to avoid the storm. The group stops in an abandoned town, where Finch dons a UV protection suit and invites Jeff to join him outside. Finch teaches Jeff how to scavenge and warns him of the sun's dangers. They share a moment of amusement, popping popcorn in the intense sunlight. However, the fun ends abruptly as Finch spots the storm approaching. They attempt to outrun it but ultimately fail. Finch and Jeff hurry outside to secure the RV with wires. As Finch tires, Jeff takes over and successfully completes the task. They manage to secure the RV just in time as a massive tornado hits, snapping all but one wire. Miraculously, the storm passes and everyone is unharmed. While Finch praises Jeff's efforts, he discovers a damaged front tire on their vehicle. Although they have a spare tire, they lack a jack to lift the RV. Luckily, Jeff lifts the vehicle himself, allowing Finch to change the tire. The following morning, Jeff tries to communicate with Goodyear, explaining that he is learning the dog's language. Finch wakes up and reminds Jeff that it will take time for him and Goodyear to bond. Later that day, a sign indicates San Francisco is 1,522 miles away. As Finch struggles to explain the concept of trust to Jeff, he shares a personal story from his past. He tells Jeff about a time he solved a software problem on his own, but chose to credit the entire team, earning their trust. Meanwhile, Finch's health worsens. They stop at a restaurant where Finch vomits blood, realizing his time is running out. He spends some quality time with Goodyear inside the restaurant. Outside, Jeff clumsily experiments with the RV, causing minor accidents. A frustrated Finch shows Jeff the consequences of sun exposure on his skin and reminds Jeff that his main responsibility is to care for Goodyear. After leaving the restaurant, Finch teaches Jeff how to drive. Despite initial clumsiness, Jeff eventually drives with ease, pleasing Finch but leaving Goodyear unconvinced. They camp by the roadside that night, admiring the stunning northern lights. Jeff suggests driving at night to avoid sunlight, but Finch warns him of the dangers of encountering desperate people after dark. The next morning, Finch's condition worsens, and Jeff looks after him, offering to call a doctor. As they continue their journey and reach a large city, Jeff and Dewey venture out to scavenge for supplies, eventually finding a seemingly looted hospital. Unaware of the dangers, Jeff proceeds inside. When Finch awakens and realizes the robots are gone, he knows trouble is brewing. Despite his weakened state, he puts on his protective suit and sets out to find Jeff and Dewey, unaware that someone is watching him from the shadows. Inside the building, Jeff is thrilled to discover food, medicine, and even a stylish jacket for himself. Meanwhile, Dewey spots some snacks but doesn't see the nearby bear trap. As he reaches for the snacks, the trap snaps shut, tearing him apart. A heartbroken Finch finds Dewey, apologizes, and powers him down. Finch hears a noise and locates Jeff. He insists they leave immediately, as the area is too dangerous. They both hurry back to the RV, with Finch struggling to keep up. Once inside, they drive away, only to be pursued by another vehicle. Finch hands the wheel to Jeff, urging him to avoid making any mistakes, while he notices the car still tailing them. They turn off their headlights since Jeff can see in the dark. The mysterious car continues the pursuit, so Finch tells Jeff to accelerate. As they drive into a storm, Finch grabs the wheel and steers the RV off-road, intending to use an underpass. Ignoring Jeff's warnings about the RV's height, Finch drives through the underpass, causing a crash that destroys the RV's solar panels. After the accident, Jeff uses his strength to push the RV inside the underpass. The pursuing car approaches but stops momentarily before driving away. Once certain they're gone, Finch steps outside and discovers the damaged solar panels. He blames himself for his poor decision-making and admits he can't fix them. Jeff tries to reassure him that they can still reach San Francisco, but Finch angrily tells him to be quiet. Upset, Finch returns to the RV while Jeff remains outside in the rain. After some investigating, Jeff rejoins Finch in the RV and says he believes they can make it to the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. In the meantime, Finch shares another story about his distrust of people and how he found Goodyear in a bag. He recounts how Goodyear was scared and alone, and how he vowed to protect him at all costs. Finch admits that hunger can turn any good person into a killer. However, it turned him into a coward as he hid while young boys killed a young girl and her mother in a supermarket. The next morning, a road sign indicates that they are 480 miles away from San Francisco. Jeff drives while a weakened Finch rests. Suddenly, Jeff spots a butterfly on the windshield. He stops the RV, wakes Finch, and points to the butterfly. Finch reaches out and is surprised that the sunlight doesn't harm him. He steps outside and realizes that the UV radiation levels have dropped to safe levels. Although skeptical, Finch is overjoyed to see a flower and another butterfly. As they proceed on their journey, they drive through blooming fields. Later, Finch gets dressed and they decide to have a picnic in the sun, something he hasn't experienced in over 10 years. During the picnic, Finch shares more memories of his past and expresses his desire to have done more with his life. Hearing this, Jeff excitedly stands up and says that if they leave now, they'll reach the Golden Gate Bridge in about 18 hours. Sadly, Finch admits he won't make it to San Francisco. A disheartened Jeff promises to care for Goodyear after he's gone. Finch then takes out Goodyear's ball, and they play fetch. He hands the ball to Jeff, explaining that building trust with a dog begins with simple games like this. They enjoy a brief moment of fun before Finch suddenly starts coughing up blood, staining his white suit. When Jeff asks if he can help, Finch assures him that he already has. They shake hands and share a hug, revealing Jeff's emotional side. Jeff helps Finch into the RV to lie down, while Goodyear stays by Finch's side. As Jeff packs their belongings, Finch pats Goodyear one last time before passing away. Together, Jeff and Goodyear burn Finch's body on the plains, along with his UV suit. After mourning, Jeff continues Finch's daily routines, feeding and playing fetch with Goodyear. As they bond, Goodyear begins to trust and accept Jeff. With a sense of responsibility, Jeff and Goodyear continue their journey. Upon reaching the Golden Gate Bridge, Jeff constructs a memorial for Finch. They discover numerous messages left by survivors for their loved ones, indicating potential reunions. In the final scene, Jeff attaches a drawing of Finch, Goodyear, and himself to the fence. With their memories of Finch in tow, Jeff and Goodyear venture towards a new destination. Finch is a beautiful and heartwarming film that reminds us of the importance of hope, companionship, and the power of the human spirit. What do you guys think about this movie? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like my videos, please like and subscribe for more. Until next time, take care.